Greetings, gang. Saturday lunch. All right. Gonna burst everybody's bubble. This one's not gonna be happy news. Sorry. Had one today that was something good. That should be enough, I hope. But reality sets in too much. So, how many of you guys remember what you went through in 2008, 2009? I mean, it's different for everybody. For me, it was utter chaos. That was in the midst of filing for divorce, which eventually cost me my house and led to a bankruptcy. Cost me my job, good old recession and everything like that. Yeah, you think we're in trouble now? You think prices are high now? I remember 2008. It was what, four? I mean, I was in Indiana at the point. It was $4.50 a gallon of gas. I mean, it was crazy then. We've seen more now. Okay. The housing market fell apart. Yeah, I think we're on the brink of that again. Okay. Food wasn't as expensive then as it is now, but job losses were like crazy. Okay. I mean, again, I was in northeastern Indiana. I was living in Fort Wayne at the time, working as a recruiter, and the Elkhart area, for those of you guys that live up there, was experiencing 17% unemployment. Now, granted, that's very heavily there in the automobile and RV industry. And with the Great Recession there, people weren't exactly buying RVs, so nothing. And I was working in recruiting for engineers and manufacturing and stuff like that. There wasn't anything going on. So, why do I bring all that back up? Guess what? That's what's expected now. There's a survey put out the end of the week by the conference board, and this is the measurement of CEO confidence in the economy. Get this one. 98% of CEOs in the United States believe we're headed for another Great Recession. This isn't the government telling you this. The government will tell you everything's good, okay? This is the people that actually make the products that you use, provide the services that you use, build the things that you live in or drive or whatever, okay? When 98% say, look out below, it's time to listen, okay? The survey asked CEOs to describe the economic conditions they're preparing to face over the next 12 to 18 months. Okay, like I said, 98% in the United States figure we're going into a Great Recession. 99% of European CEOs think Europe's going into a Great Recession. What I say before, what I say at the mid-morning video, watch what happens in Europe, because it's coming here, all right? As much as the powers that be, the fraud in charge in Washington is saying, oh, the economy's getting better, look at all the great things I've done. Like I said, increasing crime, increasing prices, increasing illegal immigration. Yeah, those are all the things you've increased, Joe. Then you look at what the Fed is saying, oh, we need to raise interest rates and lower employment. This starts to look exactly like what happened in 2008, 2009. Remember what their solution was in 2008, 2009? Let's send stimmy checks. I think it was $600 that everybody got that time, if I remember correctly. Maybe it was $300. I don't remember the exact figure. But what did that do? It shot inflation up. We're already seeing massive inflation. You guys know that, 9% roughly that we're at, 8 to 9%. We're bouncing in between the two at least. What happens if we go into a Great Recession? What happens if housing prices get halved again? I mean, I've told you guys the story before about my neighbor in Vegas who bought his house and had to increase his bid on the house because the mortgage company wouldn't write a note for under $100,000. Okay. House is now worth 300. Okay. But in 2009, they bought the house. They bid 96 or 97, and the mortgage company said, you need to pay 100, otherwise we can't write a note. What happens then? This is an opportunity for some and a disaster for others. I've been saying this for a year. This is at least a year. This is exactly what the elites want. Because BlackRock and Zuckerberg and Gates and Soros and Buffett, they're not looking at buying houses for pennies on the dollar. They're not looking at buying neighborhoods for pennies on the dollar. They're looking at buying cities for pennies on the dollar. Okay, the entire thing. If we go into another great recession, and a lot, including me, will argue we never came out of the last one, it was all just fake, because we've tripled our national debt since then. Okay, we've pumped in $20 trillion into the economy in the last 15 years to keep the economy afloat. It's all going to come crashing down. I mean, there's no way to do it again. This is when you get into Weimar Republic, Venezuela, that sort of stuff, Zimbabwe, just currency being worthless. This is what, if CEOs are calling for this, saying that we're going to go into it again. I mean, and if you guys are right and I'm right, we never came out of the last one. That means we're going further down. It was a painful time 15 years ago. How painful is it going to be this year? How painful is it going to be when the box of macaroni and cheese is $5 and that's what you're buying because the pound of ground beef is $20 and you can't afford it because your job disappeared? Okay? What's the government going to do? Put the entire country on food stamps? Where's that money come from? Oh, well, if you move into Gatesville or Zuckerberg, we have food there until they run out of money. See, this is the problem, guys, and it's been said many, many times. You know, Margaret Thatcher's old quote, the problem with socialism is eventually you run out of other people's money. That's what's going to happen. The government doesn't have it. They've long since run out of money. The tax revenue the government is making is going to be barely enough to pay the interest payments on the national debt. Eventually we get to a point where nobody's going to loan the government money to bail us out. And whatever you have is all you're going to get. Housing, food, fuel, electricity, whatever it would be. I've said it a couple of times already. When 99% of companies, you know, the guys who sit in the corner office, how they get paid is how the performance of their company goes. When they say, uh-oh, we're up shit creek, because they're going to feel it in the wallet. When they say that, that's time for you to listen. When the people with money say, look out, I'm not going to have as much money, what happens to the people who don't have money? They're the ones that say, oh shit, I don't have any money. You need to ramp this up fast, guys, because I can't give you a time frame, but if we're having a conversation in the spring going, we're FUBAR, I don't want to have to tell a single person that listened, I told you so. I got no problem talking to people who say, everything's going to be fine, to say, I told you so. But all you guys, I pray to God, everybody's got it, as the term goes, stacked to the rafters. Because come next year, if these guys are right, and I can't think 99% of them are wrong, you're going to be real happy. You got something in the pantry. something in the garage, something in the shed to keep you in some semblance of healthy. Pinball out. Almost. Forgot to say this. Go Tennessee. Beat Alabama. Pinball out.